Good morning. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Hobby Evolution episode 922. At least YouTube isn't down. Whew, thank God. We've got YouTube, eBay. eBay's always kind of sketchy for me. I mean, I can get what I need to do done for the most part. The only thing I struggle with on eBay, and I've mentioned this, the app. My app sucks. And it sucked for like 2 months, the eBay app on my phone. And I mean, I've signed out, signed back in, refreshed, turned off my phone, all that stuff. And the two things it struggles with are sending offers and accepting offers. So like when somebody sends you an offer, clicking into that, I have to refresh multiple times. It's even worse when I go to send offers. It's like you have 75 offers to send. I have to refresh sometimes 20 times just to refresh, just to send offers out. And that's been happening for like 3 months. I'm too stubborn to go to eBay. I mean, they probably won't. Well, did you restart your phone? Yeah. Yep. I restarted my phone, all that stuff. So eBay works for the most part. YouTube is working. Twitter. What's going on with Twitter? Twitter's down. Car Dealer Pro was down all day yesterday. Jason says, good morning. CDP is working again. Good. Because normally I don't do, it kind of threw my day off. Normally I don't upload on Saturdays and Sundays, or if I do, very little. Usually when my uploading days are during the week, and I do heavy shipping on the weekends. So here I am, la-ti-da, do some shipping after my live show, do some shipping, and then the rest of the day I'm going to upload. I've got a whole box to upload. La-ti-da-ti-da. I go on. 0 matches. What? Then I looked at the Facebook group, the Hobby Evolution Facebook group. Go check it out. Close to 300 members in there. And there's a whole bunch of what the hell's going on with Car Dealer Pro. It didn't match my 1980 tops. It didn't match my early 90s basketball, blah, 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 blah. It was down. So I reached out to one of the guys, and I'm like, hey, what's going on with Car Dealer Pro? So they were working on it, and this was, I don't know, early afternoon when I reached out to them. They were aware and working on it. So, but it was as of like, I don't know, 6 p.m., it was still down. So I just kind of gave up at that point. So I've got a batch that I'll have to just refresh, resubmit. But not today. Today's going to be a shipping day. So that's good to hear. Car Dealer Pro is working again. Yeah, so Saturday wasn't my day. And not because it was like full of stress and all that. No, it was just, have you ever just had a bad day just because it's a bad day? For no particular reason, just you're tired, it's gloomy outside, your shit's not working, Car Dealer Pro and Twitter, and it's just like, I just want to give up, go to sleep, and wake up and start again tomorrow. Let's just erase Saturday from the record. I thought about going and getting some cards. Just, I need a break from my normal day. I'm going to go open. What's my break? Opening cards. And I thought about it. I'm like, and I just was, I had no ambition yesterday. Just one of those days where it's like, just don't feel like it. So then I go over to the house. We had dinner last night. And I, after dinner, I went over the house just because we had painters at the house Saturday. Countertops were also installed. How about that? Working on weekends. So I stopped by to make sure the house was all locked up. And I'm like, I'm going to do a walkthrough video. Well, Saturday wasn't the day Why? Well, because it was Murphy's Law was in effect. So the last walkthrough video, the last walkthrough video I did, I kind of just tailored it to my YouTube channel and people on Twitter. And I want and I remember in a college course I took, I think it was actually a sales course. It wasn't like sociology or anything like that. It was I'm pretty sure it was a sales course, and professor talks about, how do you speak to your grandma? How do you speak to your parents? How do you speak to your friends? Obviously, we have different tones and we speak and communicate differently to various people. And when I put out videos that I want like my family and people on my Facebook page, I want to convey kind of a different message. Here, I can say shit, damn. And sometimes I drop the F-bomb. But I don't want to do that on Facebook. On YouTube, I don't care. If my Facebook friends that I'm trying to communicate differently with stumble upon my or my YouTube page, then so be it. So we communicate differently. So the last walkthrough video, it's like, I want to be a little more professional when I'm putting it out on Facebook, which seems like who cares? It's Facebook. Audience. That's why I care. Audience. So I decided I'll just do another walkthrough video and I'll just kind of produce it differently. And we all know how my production looks on video. There is no production, but little idiosyncrasies. So like what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to try to make it a quicker video. It's not just going to be me walking through the house and pointing out, oh, there's the smart toilet. It's going to be a little more, a little less Bo, like zero Bo talking. I just want to put some nice, soft music, and just do a quick walkthrough. Boom, here's the room. Boom, here's the room. And that's it. So I thought, hey, I had a little tripod. I can't find my like, it's not even a selfie stick. It's like a video stick. I can't find it. It'll surface in 5 years. But I had a small tripod. I'm like, oh, this will work. Well, once I like latched my phone in, and I'm like, shit, this probably isn't gonna work. And it appeared to work at first. And then when I went back and watched the video, son of a bitch, because like when I zoomed in just a little bit, you could see my freaking paw. So I'm like, God dang it. So I'm like, maybe I'll get around it, put some nice music, cut it together, watched it. I'm like, it popped up a lot more than what I had initially thought. So I think I'm just going to delete that video. I'll go back over today and take 2. So I'll put that video out and I'll share it with both of my audiences. Basically, it's just going to be a quick walk. If you've watched any of the previous videos, you know the lay of the land. If you've watched any of the previous home renovation videos, I even made a nice, it's like a thumbnail. It's like, I like this thumbnail. So I have to use it, but you know the lay of the land. So, so this will just be like, you don't need me talking and narrating what this space is. So that's just the way my day went. It's like, God dang it. And then afterwards, I'm like, maybe I'll run to Target and get some cards. But then, so I get home and hit the couch, and my wife goes, I've got to run through some offers, so I'm going to be on the phone. I'm like, okay, I'll go downstairs. What would have been the perfect go downstairs? It would have been perfect to have some cards to open. I have some cards, but I don't want to open those. I want to open some new stuff. It's been a while. I'm itching. I could have just ran to Target. Target's 5 minutes away. I could have just ran to Target, but I'm like, screw it. What did I don't even know what I did. I watched some TV, and that was about it. So that was my day. That was my day. The internet was upside down, but it's good to see. Oh, Donald mentions Walmart has some blasters at 17. I did see a photo floating around. I'm going to turn back to Twitter here in a second. On Twitter, I actually saw a tweet of somebody's Walmart with their retail section, which we many people, I shouldn't say all of us, but many people, and I even make fun of it sometimes myself. We see these pictures of the Target and Walmart shelves full of retail. But actually, it's kind of helpful because, as Donald mentions, there's some blasters at clearance. And so it kind of gives me an idea of, okay, what are these stores? What's Walmart putting on clearance? Maybe I'll go and spend $17 for a Bowman Platinum Blaster box. There were some, was it Leaf? We talked about Leaf yesterday. Was it Leaf? There was a product that was marked down to like $13 that I saw. And I can't remember what it was, but it's like, ooh, if my local store, I'll buy a whole bunch of those. And then I'm like, and then I got into this, like, I'm itching. So maybe I'll buy some wax today. I'm trying to hold off because oh my God, it just stresses me out looking at this house, knowing that a lot of this basement has to be moved Wednesday. So tomorrow the shelf guy comes. My shelf guys come tomorrow. So that'll like make me feel like right now I'm in this like upside down in the middle. Just the waiting is the hardest part. Thank you, Tom Petty. That's where I'm at right now. That's the most stressful for me is the anticipation. Just let it get here. So tomorrow, once the shelves are put together to how I want them, I'm going to feel so much better until that wears off on Tuesday. And I've got to move all this shit around to prepare for the movers on Wednesday. So yeah. So let's go into the chat because I want to circle back to the internet. What the hell's going on with the internet? And it wasn't just Twitter and Cardi the Pro. There was something else that went down yesterday. It's like, Jesus, is Canada attacking? They're going to smoke us out, and now they're taking our internet. Sorry, I shouldn't say I'm not a Canadian. Sorry to Canada's probably not even with us because they're hung over from celebrating Canada Day, which was yesterday. Where did I see that? I think somebody posted it in the chat yesterday. I think one of our friendly Canadians posted it was their Independence Day yesterday. And that was a question on, I believe, Jeopardy from Alexa. We play Jeopardy on the Alexa app. And I'm like, oh, I know this one. Canada Day. John says it's all about the revenue. You are a Twitter commodity. And that's why I don't get Twitter's my jam. Twitter is my jam, but I don't get too wrapped up in it because of like what's going on yesterday, because it's free. There's not many things in life that are free, especially a service like Twitter. I mean, good things come to an end. And I would hate to see Twitter go. I've actually been contemplating paying for Twitter. Now, I want to make sure they get this shit straightened out. This is only temporary, this Twitter thing. So, but it's like, am I going to pay for Twitter if everybody leaves Twitter? It's kind of like eBay. I am very happy to pay eBay because of the reach that eBay receives. But I'm not going to put my cards on an upstart platform, even if they promise 0 fees or 1% fees, because they don't have the reach, and it's not worth this savings and fees because there's just nobody to buy. If you're not selling anything, Yeah, you're not paying any fees, but you're not making any money. So my thoughts on Twitter, it's like, it is what it is. Hey, we've gone this long. We've gone how many years? 15 years with Twitter being free. It's a good run. If they want to start charging us, and if you don't want to pay, you don't have to use it. Kind of like paywalls on newspapers. They don't deliver you a newspaper for nothing, right? So why should we expect to not pay and get free content on the newspaper's website? Why? Well, we expect it because it's always been that way. Until recently, newspapers were too late to figure it out. Way too late to figure out how to monetize online. And that's why newspapers are dying, or already dead, many of which are. Fairfax Cards. Internet went down last week, had to get a new router. Now I have completely reinstalled Windows to open files, and it won't do it. I'm now upgraded to a tier 3 problem at Microsoft. Good morning. That sucks. That sucks. Baseball card curmudgeon, what's up? Joe Olivo, what's happening? JG, Bo transitioning to ASMR content. Hey, that gets clicks. I've seen some people like put ASMR in their titles because it gets, that's like one of the most searched things on YouTube. Can you imagine somebody searching ASMR and they come across me dropping F-bombs and talking about what I had for dinner last night? I'd be pretty ticked off. Ed, good morning. Sal Dougie's in the house. Mark Marinello is here. Good morning, Harlan. Jason says he just got an email from Car Dealer Pro. Where are we at? About yesterday's issues. Let's see. Let's check my email over here. See if I got one. Let's see. I wonder, did you email Car Dealer Pro about it? I'm wondering if they just sent out emails to those who, if they sent emails to those who sent them emails. So I don't even know which email I'm signed up with. My email's not even loading. What the hell is going on? What is wrong with the internet? Oh, got it. Car Dealer Pro. So here, Car Dealer Pro did issue an email. I just got it 11 minutes ago. From Car Dealer Pro, yesterday's batch issues. Yesterday, an internal error with our image processing caused batches to return no match found. Our team worked diligently through the weekend to fix the issue. We believe service should be fully restored and back to normal. If you had any batches that did not return results yesterday, you can open that batch and click the resubmit button on the right side of the screen, and your images will be reprocessed and results should be returned once complete. We apologize for this inconvenience this outage may have caused, and we thank you for your understanding and continued support. We are dedicated to providing you with the best possible service and are constantly working to improve. If you have any further issues, please do not hesitate to reach out to our support department by using the support button in the bottom right corner of the Car Dealer Pro screen. Sincerely, the Car Dealer Pro team. So good. It was addressed and fixed in, about 24 hours. So still, it took time away. What can we not get back? Time. So that's the unfortunate part. John says $13 is still too much to pay for a Leaf product. Don't feed the ogre. I love Leaf cards. Not all of them, but some of them. Let's see. Turkey Cards. We need another moving live stream. Is Car Dealer Pro offering a prorated refund? Maybe. I don't know. I think those affected should reach out and ask. It's kind of like, does any of your services that you pay for, and there's an outage, if the cable goes out, is the cable company going to proactively prorate your bill? Hell no. But if you call them and say, can you prorate my bill since there was an outage for 24 hours? I bet you they will. So just with any other service, if it affected you, reach out to them. I can't say whether or not they will offer you a prorated refund or any discount, but just like with any other service you pay for, if there's an outage, you likely have to reach out and say, hey, I want some money back. And maybe they will oblige. JW, good morning. Let's see. Jason says, LOL, I doubt it could use some free scans. There you go. Just shoot him an email. Doesn't hurt to ask. What's the worst they can say? No. Bink Scott, good morning. Fairfax, good morning to you. Gonna visit the old LCS for some retail therapy today. Forget the internet. There you go. Dave says Cardi the Pro was bad yesterday. It was not just bad, it was not even working. Good morning, a collector's dream in the house. TD Sports Cards in the house. Super sexy cardboard. Good morning. What happened to the SKU label for eBay? Do we have to put that in the title now? No. To my knowledge, nothing's changed with the custom label SKU. It's in the same place it always has been. Nick says, people are leaving. People are leaving the internet. John says, it did with what was happening yesterday. And here's the thing about Twitter. I think this is just a legit back end fix, and Twitter's going to go back to normal. I don't know what the hell Elon's doing with Twitter, but I don't think Twitter's going to end. You're not going to have to pay. Everybody's not going to have to pay for it, at least in the time being. But in one of my group chats, we were like sharing other ideas because we have like a very active and fun group chat going. It's our Cubs collector chat. And we don't want to have it disintegrate and disappear. I had another friend created a Facebook account in the event Twitter went down because his main platform is Twitter. And he didn't want to lose all the connections he had made on Twitter. So he created a Facebook account and started friending people from Twitter on Facebook. So by the way, if you are on Twitter, I am on Facebook, I am on Instagram, I am on, I think that's it. YouTube, of course, YouTube. You found me. Are there any other? I am on TikTok, but I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But I'm like 1 million Cubs on everything. So just type in 1 million Cubs on a platform. If it doesn't come up, then I'm not there. Because there's some weird social media platforms that I don't know anything about. Kind of like back in the day, like in the early internet, there was I was on MSN Chat, Messenger, and AOL. And was ICQ before or during that? But ICQ was like one of those weird ones that like nobody I knew really used. Like a couple friends were on it, but like, it's like, I want to stay away from ICQ. Let's see. So that's my, so yeah, I think Twitter, it's going to stay. But people were preparing for the end yesterday. So we're like, where are we going to take this chat? Are we going to go to Discord? Oh, Discord's another thing. I'm on Discord, but I don't really understand how that works either. Instagram, Facebook. Some people said if we take this to Facebook, I'm out. But it's like none of those platforms really have. Somebody said there is a group chat in Instagram. I'm not aware. I don't really know how to use Instagram either. And like Discord, I'm in Discord, but it's like 3 days later and I see messages. Like Twitter's my jam. Let's see. John says the additional scan should be greater in value than a prorated refund. Let's see. John, are you in consulting now for refunds? Where are we at? Let's see. JW says no more Pat Sajak soon. Here comes Seacrest. When you said Jeopardy, it made me think of Wheel of Fortune. Oh, how times are changing. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, we can't all live forever. Johnny, what's his name? Johnny, the voice of Jeopardy. He's like 96 years old. There's going to be a new voice of Jeopardy. It's just, life is fleeting and it's ever so changing. We just have to adapt to change. Nick says, people are not leaving. Okay. The reach has gone down a lot since Elon Musk's transition. Yeah, I think it probably has. Talking Tatis, Sunday Fun Day. Let's see. Joe Olivo says they sent the email to everyone, not just the ones that complained. 24 hours is a lot for people who rely on sales to pay their bills. Shane Koopmans, good morning. James, what's happening? Was at a card show yesterday. Everyone was trying to buy cards for 70% eBay prices. The sellers laughed. I've been seeing a lot of tweets. No, I haven't. I haven't been seeing a lot of tweets. That's the problem. No, I've seen a few tweets about people waiting to sell until the National. I don't recall this being a thing in the past. I've heard of waiting to buy until the National, but I've never heard of waiting to sell. And I've never been a fan of that strategy. I'm a seller, not a holder. If I can sell something today, why wait a month? But yeah, I've seen that surface on Twitter recently. It's going to be interesting. I was having a chat with a friend yesterday about card shows and what July is going to bring. I heard some traffic was down at the Oak Creek show yesterday. There's a big show in it's not a big show. It's actually fairly small show today, but it's at Miller Park or whatever it's called now, American Family Field in Milwaukee. But I guess they pre-sold a bunch of tickets for this show. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm not going, but I will like to hear feedback on how it went. I'm bullish on my July show. The Madison Card Show is coming up on July 22nd. I'm bullish because the last 2 years, while yes, we are in different times, especially in the hobby, it comes just a few days before the National starts, which is only 2 hours down the road. The last couple years, it's been the same weekend, and sales for dealers has been awesome because people come in and buy because they want inventory for the National. And it's not just dealers buying from it's customers coming in that want to take stuff to trade night. And that was something I saw in one of the replies on Twitter was, oh, these old dinosaurs won't give you, they'll offer 40% comps. The old dinosaurs at the National. And it's like, but most people that are buying stuff to sell at the National aren't taking it to dealers. They're taking it to trade night. And there's like 17 of them. So that's where they're getting their stuff to take. So it'll be interesting to see how my July show is already tracking to be better than the June show and maybe even the May show. I've got already 5 or 6. I haven't even started running the ad yet, which I probably won't start until the end of this week on Facebook. And that usually gives me a big bump, especially with first-time dealers. I'm still waiting on a couple confirmation / payments. First-time dealers are prepay. So, could have a boost there as well. So I'm pretty bullish on the July show. And then I think August might be a little iffy. That's a weird thing about card shows. They're like 1 month to the next. You don't know. And sometimes I'm bullish and it turns out to be a dud. And sometimes I think, oh, this is going to be a shitty show. And it's like, holy crap, this is an amazing show. Just kind of depends. But even an amazing show, I guarantee you there's going to be a dealer out there or a customer out there that's going to say it sucks. And there's going to be a show where most people say it sucks and somebody's going to kill it and say, man, this was the best show I've ever had. That's just the thing. Every show is different for every single person, whether they're a customer or a dealer. Talking Tati says, Padres win. Hey, I watched some of that game yesterday, and I watched at the right time because Juan Soto is on my fantasy team. Jonathan India is on my fantasy team. At one point, my fantasy baseball lineup yesterday was 2 for 14. 2 hits in 14 at-bats. Those 2 hits were by Juan Soto and Jonathan India. They were each home runs, and they accounted for 7 RBI. I'm like, hey, because Juan hit a grand slam, and India hit a 3-run shot. So I'm like, hey, I'm happy with this game, Padres and Reds. And even happier that the Padres win. They beat the Reds. So I was very happy with that outcome. Let's see. They will go and get no hit on July 4th by Ohtani. Hot take. John says cable companies are established. A young company that operates in a very niche market should be proactive. Customer service in the service of customers. Red Light 34, good morning. Love to come up with another term, but Lemmings really is the perfect fit for Twitter fitters and baseball card distribution engineers. Jason says supposedly the Twitter issue yesterday was them not wanting to pay Google for cloud services anymore, and they were slow in transitioning to a new cloud provider. Interesting. See, that goes way over my head, all that techie stuff. And that's what it sounded when I saw some of Elon's tweets yesterday. It's like, this sounds way over my head. This sounds very techie. Let's see. Where are we at? Talking Tatis, Ellie and Corbin selling like flapjacks. Yeah, in fact, I just listed, where's he at? As I was firing up my computer this morning, I listed first Bowman, Corbin Carroll. It's paper, $5. I think that's a good deal. Jackson Holidays are still selling for $5 or $6. So I found that that was actually in. Sometimes it's good to take note of your inventory. I sold like a 2019 first Bowman of Chris Murphy, and I'm looking for the Chris Murphy card, and I come across Corbin Carroll, and I'm like, how come this hasn't sold? Because at one time it was probably in my eBay store for $1.50. And so I made sure it's like, well, maybe I put it at too high of a price. So I looked at my eBay store and no Corbin Carroll. So zip. So it's in my eBay store now, $5. If you want it, hit the link in my description. It's there. Or it might be. If it's not there, it's sold. Should be there right now, unless it's sold. Had a couple sold items. Nope. Sold a Dan Marino, but not a Corbin Carroll. Let's see. Nick sold a few Corbins this week. I don't know if I already sold them, if people had already speculated. That's probably, I probably had a bunch and people just speculated on them. But I'll have to go through and see if I have any laying around. Harlan, I started on IRC. I'm not familiar with that one. It's too hard to keep up with multiple platforms, especially with the notifications. And see, that's my thing. Like, I stick to, and that's how my brain is wired. Like, I have tunnel vision for one platform, and whatever if it's Twitter is my social media basically, but I'm on Facebook and Instagram, but I'm on Twitter far more than I am the other platforms. When it comes to obviously video, I'm never on StreamYard. I just go into YouTube because I don't StreamYard, and then I have to go from StreamYard, and I know it takes me like 60 seconds, but it's just that extra step that it's like, I know I can come into YouTube and fire it up. Sales platform, definitely one platform, eBay. So I like sticking it to one platform. Nick says Discord felt like too much to manage. Yeah, Discord is. So I have Paul Carl actually set up a Discord for like our eBay stuff, like eBay tips and stuff, and I don't think it really took off. I don't think anybody in there really uses Discord. My fantasy baseball is my fantasy baseball league, because we were texting so much. It's a very competitive league. So we were texting so much that a couple guys like that actually work. They're like, I come home and I have like 55 messages. Can we like take this somewhere else? So Kamish started a Discord, and it's been nice. And it actually for fantasy, for I think a group chat, it wouldn't work as well. But for like a fantasy baseball league, it's perfect because we have we have a general discussion where we just talk about, so one of the guys was at Wrigley yesterday. He's in Indians for Guardians. So he was in Chicago at Wrigley. So he sent some photos. And then he said fly the L because he's a Guardians fan. So that's general. And then we have a trade talk where it's like, hey, I picked up Hunter Brown from another guy, and because he posted in the trade section, hey, I'm selling, here's what I'm looking for. And I had at the time extra shortstops, one of which was Jeremy Pena. I picked off the waiver wire. And the first trade he offered, I'm like, no way in hell I'm taking that trade. But then he's like, how about straight up Hunter Brown for Jeremy Pena? And I'm like, hell yeah, all day. And it benefited both of us. So that's where our trade talk. The latest was I'll trade starting pitching for hitting or bullpen upgrades. You go from there. Usually when I see something like that, I don't like the guy who put whatever it was, if I can find it. Yeah. So I saw him post that. So I texted him and I'm like, hey, I'm interested in Hunter Brown, because I don't want the rest of the chat to see, because then, you got to be discreet. So then we got rule discussion where it's like, if we want to change rules after the season, like, hey, so this past year we changed, we had a separate category for holds and saves. So we decided to change that in the off season. So now saves and holds are combined. So that's where we go there. And then we've got a couple others that are never used, but those are the main ones. So Discord, but for something like fantasy baseball, it's good because you have those different things where there's different discussions. So you can actually, it's like a forum. But if you're just like generally talking about the hobby or a team or whatever, Discord just seems too clunky for me. Shohei L.E. Corbin all had 7+ individual player orders. This week's top 3. Nice. Let's see. John says we can head over to the Truth Social and booger up that platform. Fairfax Cards. What about all those weekly Twitter sales threads? The Wednesday night vintage one gets 350 replies regularly. Maybe everything on Discord now. Yeah, I have no idea. Nick says 70% of eBay prices isn't all that bad. No, it's not at all. It's not at all. eBay takes almost 20% once you factor in fees for both the sales and shipping. Absolutely. So 70% I think is a really fair number in person at a show of eBay comps. Let's see. Henry says the new voice of Jeopardy, it cometh an egg. Love Egg's voice. Think he works in radio. James says Oak Creek was slow. John says I don't like Pat Hughes on hobby commercials. I love Pat Hughes. Pat Hughes is the man. Where are we at? Paul Heath in the house. Good morning. Have trade nights calmed? Don't yet. Or is it still? Oh, trade nights are huge. Trade nights might be more active than the National this year. Trade nights are insane. They have not slowed down. If anything, they've picked up steam. So yeah, I think trade nights will be rocking later this month at the National. JW says, won't hurt my feelings if people hold out on selling. More sales for the people that are selling like me. Sal Dougie's hopping off. Have a great Sunday. Thank you, Mr. Abraham. There's fees for selling most places. Table fees, store overhead, eBay, ComC, PayPal. Very few transactions in this hobby are free of fees of some sort. Absolutely. Do you have a zit on your nose? I do. It's right there. But I don't think it's a zit. I think it's like because it's been there a while. Maybe I should see a dermatologist. Good morning, Herman. Internet relay chat. Yeah, Matt McLean has been a good seller. I've sold basically every Matt McLean that I put in my store. Alex Madrid, not selling. I have some Alex Madrid 89 Donruss in my store. Not selling. Cooter, good morning. You know you were old when you remember removing the kitchen phone from the wall so you could dial into an AOL 800 number for internet access. So that's a little predating. So I didn't internet until what year? 97? But I don't remember ever using any AOL internets. My friend, who's actually getting married in a couple weeks, lived across the street. His mom worked, and I think she still does, work for the telephone company. And so he was the first person I knew that had the internet. And I remember the AOL startup disc that had Buddy Holly by Weezer on it. Of course, the dial-up. That was in 90. That was probably early 96, summer of 96. And then I didn't get the internet until I had web TV. And I think that was probably 97 or 98. It was a good solid year after Scott had the internet. So it was probably, he was a early adopter. He had the Reebok pumps. He had the internet. I was an early adopter on CD burning and little side hustle in high school. Thank you, Napster. I hope Lars from Metallica isn't listening. I made really good coin selling burned CDs. Oh, that was awesome. Come up and, I mean, I have friends give me a playlist. I want these. It's like, okay. It's like $5 or $8 for a CD. Racking in the Lincolns. When you're an it was the same. Being an early adopter with a CD burner was the same as getting a product release, a baseball card product release 2 days before it hits the street, because everything sells at a premium. Let's see where we at. Jason says, if I recall, IRC was my thing in college in the mid 90s. I used to do a friend's homework so I could use her computer for IRC. I remember dialing in the old BBSs directly. Happy Sunday, grinding for good. Who is your best-selling player on eBay? That's a loaded question. Right now, basically everyone all the players that have been mentioned are probably the hottest. Like if I put in Ellie De La Cruz, it's moving pretty quickly. Matt McClain is selling really well right now. Jackson Holiday, Corbin Carroll, those are the type of players that are selling. But if you're by like volume, I mean, shit, I probably sold 100 Ken Griffey Jr. cards this week. But I also have probably 500 in my store. Let's see. Herman says, thank you, Al Gore, for giving us the internet. I remember when you could get AOL discs every store for free. Yeah, and they came in magazines. Like every magazine had the like plastic seal with your AOL, free AOL. You get like 10 hours free or whatever, 200 hours free. Redbridge in the house. Good morning. Nick was on the internet in 1994. Holy moly. Netscape Navigator. That was the end of middle school. It was pretty wild. Things people would do to get free AOL accounts. I remember GeoCities websites, building GeoCities websites. T206 kid, I was lucky as a kid with dial-up. My dad's office was in our house, so the computer we used had its own line. Oh, nice. Yeah. Fortunately, my parents didn't use the phone much, so I had like free reign of our phone line. Every once in a while, I got to make a phone call. Shit, I got to log off the internet. I'd have Napster running overnight, downloading songs because I had CDs to make. I had orders to fill, man. I had to get the Thong Song on 17 CDs. Nick says in 98, 99, it was easy to make money burning CDs. Oh my God, it was a beautiful time. It was a beautiful time. Let's see. Q-Link for the Commodore 64. People used credit card generators to make free AOL accounts. Wow. So let's see. The Thong Song and Who Let the Dogs Out. Yeah, I remember the I still have, and I think I tossed them. Or did I toss that? Actually, you know what? It's probably still in my car. My mom still had, there's somebody asked if my bedroom growing up still looks the same, and it does not. Like I know a lot of people, like their parents, it looks like you're walking back into 1998. Not my house. Not my house at all. The closet at one time did, like, because I had all my shit, like all the shit that I didn't want to store at my house, like I just kept at my parents' house, now my mom's house. And then every time my mom came to visit, she would dump off a box of shit that was left in the closet. And now there's like nothing left, because it was always fun. Like when I go home, it's like I'm bored. So I'd go into my bedroom and I'd go look through a box of random shit. Oh yeah. But I didn't want to take it home. Um, but I don't want my mom to throw it. She's like, "Can I just throw this away?" No, mom, you can't throw that away. And but then when she drops it off at my house, it's like, "Oh, I don't want this. I'm throwing it away." I threw so much shit away because I don't want this. It's better when it has free storage at your house. But there was in one of the totes that was still there, like it wasn't it was one of those like hanging file folder boxes. Which there were no folders in there. It was just like random CDs, basically. A lot of mixed CDs from like probably early college, like 2000, 2001, that time frame. I'd have to go back and look because I remember making CDs for like the girls. It was Thong Song, Destiny's Child, like Bills, 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 like the first Destiny Child songs. What else was on? What was popular back then? Train. What was the Train song? The huge Train hit. Not Meet Virginia. What's the other one? Oh my God, Miss Jackson. That was a huge. Yeah, that was a big one. Drops of Jupiter. Drops of Jupiter in her head. Thank you. Harlan knew it. Drops of Jupiter. Yes. Some of those songs. Thongs. Some of those thongs. Cooter helped one of my clients buy the first internet service provider. Guy went to Stanford when the net was still starting to become commercial. One of the strangest experiences of my career. That's amazing. Tony has some stuff at my parents in New Jersey. I moved out in 2014. Funny thing is, I will still get TTM auto returns at my parents' house from 10 plus years ago that I sent out. That's awesome. I love seeing those like returns from like 10, 12 years. eBay, what promoted listing percentage do you like to run? I do dynamic and I go up to 10%. And I know some people are like, I'm sticking at 2, and I love it when people say that. I love it when people don't promote or promote the minimal because that means my items are getting more looks. Train equals trash. I agree. There you go. James knew it. Super sexy cardboard knew it. Drops of Jupiter in her hair. Good stuff. Good stuff. What else is going? So I think later today I'll head back over and I'll try to take a better video that I'll actually upload. I don't want to waste this thumbnail that I made last night. Actually, it's about the easiest thumbnail I've ever made, but it turned out to my liking. Harlan does not promote for the first 2 weeks after a listing. I've thought about doing that, but it's just so easy. Just boom, promote everything because I want stuff to move. In fact, I don't even like what I've learned, and here's a little thing that I've picked up along the way. If I haven't moved something within the first 24 to 48 hours, I'm willing to take now on a $1.50 card. No, I'm not going to take $1 unless somebody wants to buy like 20 of them. Then I'll take $1. But if it's say a Corbin Carroll, first Bowman paper, Corbin Carroll, I just listed it 30 minutes ago for $5. If it doesn't get scooped up in 24 hours and I get an offer of like $3 or $3.50, I'm taking it within a day. It might sell next week for $5, but I don't want to wait a week over $1 or $1.50. I want that money coming in now. So that's kind of my thought process. And I've learned that if it doesn't sell within the first couple days, it's probably not going to move until like the end of the time frame because people are sorting by newest listed, and after the 24 hours it's going to get buried. It's not going to be on the top of the search for newly listed. If they're looking for Corbin Carroll, using this example, if they're looking for Corbin Carroll, after 24 hours it's getting buried because everybody else is listing Corbin Carroll right now. So you're going to have to wait the whole 30 days and then or 29, and then it's going to be ending soonest because everything's on a time period. Even if it's buy it now, it's going to run down last 24 hours and it might sell unless you're just overpriced. I don't think $5 for that card. I think that's a fair price. and I think it'll move. If you want to buy 6 other cards, you can get 25% off. What's 25% off? $5, $1.25. So yeah, down to $3.75. And that's definitely a good deal. Let's see. Shane says, have a great day. You too. Going fishing. Good luck. Dynamic. Please elaborate. So dynamic pricing is basically not transparent, but eBay will, it's kind of based on their algorithm. So if you do dynamic pricing, you set your maximum you want to pay on the percent on a promoted listing. I do 10%. Dynamic is it's going to promote it, but it might be 3%. It might be 10%. What I've learned is usually it's 10%. So it's every once in a while I see, oh, this is only 3.5%. Yeah, I'll accept that offer because I'm paying a lot less in promoted fees. So that's dynamic pricing. But you, the consumer, do not know why it's dynamic, what made it dynamic. And there's a lot, it's clear as mud. Promotions are clear as mud on eBay. And I still think at some point in the future, there's going to be some type of class action lawsuit regarding eBay fees. And I'm not talking final value fees and insertion fees and transaction fees could be a part of it. And I think promoted fees could be a part of it. So I would not be surprised if that comes down the line. Will it be successful? Who knows? But I think it's going to be presented at some point. Let's see. Cooter says, you are smarter than a lot of dealers as you understand it's about moving inventory and generating cash flow. And that's just something that I only recently figured out. I up until probably around the pandemic changed my mindset completely, because a lot of people, I'm not going to say everybody, because there's a lot of people that I saw with my own 2 eyes, and it's like, oh my God, you're going to be in for it. What are you doing? Because they just didn't think there was an end in sight, that cards were just going to keep going up. Oh, if they're this hot now, just imagine. Kind of like the people in the early 90s. I'm going to buy these. If I bought this for $30 today, by the time my kid's in college, I'm not going to have to pay for education. And guess what happened? By the time their kids went to college, those cards were still in the closet and worth 1/10 of what they paid for them. So what I learned during the pandemic was I'm not buying anything. And I did buy stuff. I was very careful with what I bought. For the most part, I still bought stuff that, like, I go back and I find stuff and I'm like, yep, I overpaid for this. But I was very careful. I didn't just go out and buy everything in sight. I was pretty strategic in what I bought, but I was selling everything. Like, I'm not holding anything. It's like, this worked. And so it still works today, but on a much smaller scale, because we're not in that boom that we once were. Doesn't mean the hobby's in a bad place right now. It kind of means it's normalized, actually. So that's the key is, and I've also learned over time with, especially when it comes to prospecting, there's always a time when a player is going to exceed value. It's just predicting that time. And that's why I disagree when people say, well, look at Kevin Moss and Brian Taylor and Greg Jeffries. Look what happened to them. Well, when you're prospecting, you're not looking to hold for 30 years, okay? There's always a peak. And sometimes that peak in prospecting is at the release. Let's see. I always like to use the Kevin Maitan example because I lived it. 2017, Bowman. You know what? Check this out. Oh, no, that's not Bowman. I found in the back of my closet. No, not unopened. It's empty boxes. I saved a bunch of empty boxes. It's 2017 Heritage Miners. I had a case of empty boxes back there. But I did pull some nice Acuñas out of Heritage Miners. But in Bowman, Acuna was in Bowman. Kevin Maitan was the hot guy in 2017 Bowman. And now you can get those for $5 today because he's hitting like 100. 6 years later, as Acuna has been in the league now for 5 years, and Maitan is still in Double-A, hitting 100. And then there's guys that, you can kind of sit. Corbin Carroll, his first Bowman was in 2019, and they're now taking off. And I think this is probably the peak of Corbin Carroll's market. Because why? There's going to be another guy that comes up. Sometimes peaks happen at release. Sometimes they happen in single A, double A. Sometimes they happen right before they're called up to the big leagues. Sometimes they get called up to the big leagues and all of a sudden, boom, they hit home run after home run. Elly De La Cruz. I thought his hot market, and I sold a lot of my Elly De La Cruz. And Elly De La Cruz is kind of he's like an enigma because he's kind of peaked at every point. He was the hot prospect in 2021. When was Elly De La Cruz? 2021, 2020, 2021. He was the hot prospect at release. So I was moving Elly De La Cruz at release. Anytime I found Elly De La Cruz, I was selling because he was like hot every step of the way. Now there were some valleys along the way, especially during the off season. But he peaked at release, and I guess I shouldn't say peak because there was another peak. And then there was another peak. And then there's another peak. Right now, we're living it again. But next year, we're going to forget about Elly De La Cruz. Remember Wander Franco? Wander Franco was kind of another not quite sustainable peak for Wander Franco. At Bowman release, he was the guy. He was the guy at Bowman release. And then it was just, Wander Franco is market because we had new guys coming along. And then all of a sudden, Wander Franco, boom. And I still have my Wander Franco Topps rookie card prices up here. And now Wander Franco's and he's a really good player. But he's not hobby good because he's doing what they projected him to do. Jamie makes a good point. How many Ellys come around that make people regret selling early? Right. And it's a blip in time. Elly may not be what he's been the rest of the season. And it's sometimes the windows are very short. Where are we at? Let's see. Herman says, I know a guy locally that hoarded cases of 88 and 89 score and Topps for the same reason. The stuff is still in his attic. I had a guy come up to me at a card show a few months ago, and he goes, I've got a bunch of cards. Give you a really good price on it. I'm like, okay, I've heard this story before. I'm like, what do you have? Well, it's mostly 80s and 90s. Okay, I don't want it. What? I'll sell it to you for like 5 cents a card. 5 cents a card? No. Now I really don't want it. I'm selling it myself for a tenth of a penny a card. And then we kept talking a little bit, and he's like, I've got a bunch of sealed wax. And I'm like, I'm buying, it's not easy to move that. So I have to be really low on that. And you're probably going to think it's too cheap. He goes, well, what would you pay for like late 80s, early 90s sealed wax? I said, well, depending, I'm like, most of it, $5 to $10 a box. Oh, I'll keep it for that. I'll let the kids rip it. And I'm like, actually, that's the best thing you should do. Give it to your grandkids, because you're not going to, my $5 to $10 is probably the most you're going to find, especially in this room. Nobody wants that stuff. Jamie got lucky and bought into Ohtani during the pandemic. And Ohtani, man, that market was wild. Because at release, Ohtani was, and then he gets hurt in his rookie season, Tommy John. And then those rookies were in dollar boxes. Yes, they were. I bought so much product in 2018. So much. I did a lot of Twitter giveaways back in 2018 and 2019. I had Ohtanis in like every giveaway. I gave away about probably 40 or 50 Ohtani rookie cards because they were like dollar box, but they were still like most people would buy them for $1 because it was Ohtani and hey, maybe he comes out of this and bounces back. And boy, did he ever. And now it's like, damn it, why did I get rid of all my Ohtanis? And I still made a good amount of money on Ohtani. There were some I found like 3 Topps Chrome rookies that I had miscounted because I had so many of them. I had miscounted. I had 3 extras. I checked my eBay store. Why haven't these sold? And at that time, they were $50 a pop. They might still be around that price. I don't know. So that was a nice little found money. Harlan is headed to my mother-in-law's today to look through what I think is John's old card show inventory that was put away in like 1993. Harlan, that sounds like a treasure hunt. Should be interesting to see some of the prices. Now, is it going to be like his vintage or is it going to be like his hot prospects? And we're going to see Eric Karros rookies for $4. Sometimes that's the fun part, is seeing those prices. League always catches up to most. Cooter says, just like with stocks, don't hold out trying to hit the peak. Taking a quick $100 profit and buying inventory usually results in more profit, which you can turn in. Yeah, it's turn and burn. Turn and burn. So many people are caught up in nickel and diming and trying to get the most out of every card, and it's a fool's errand. It'll come back to bite you because you have to. Well, what if? I bet people are kicking themselves for selling Ellie too early. Well, what about all the other guys? What about the other 100 prospects that are not Ellie that you sold, quote, early? It more than made up for what you lost in selling early on Ellie, because Ellie may not have been Ellie. Ellie may have been Kevin Maitan. James just bought 20 Franco rookies for 25 cents each. Love it. Let's see. And that's because they sell for what, $250? I've got a couple. I don't know if I have any in my eBay store, but I know I have a couple that I have not listed yet. But I bet $250, $3 on eBay for those. I had someone non-pay on Mac Jones for $75. Made me happy due to that was undervalued at the time. Had the chance to accept the payment a day later, but denied. Sold for under $20 a month later. Ouch. I've been dumping Ohtanis. Had an overabundance. Let's see. Harlan says it'll be a mix of both vintage and top prospects from 93. His prices are up this morning more than the last week or so. So that's what I had for today. We're over an hour in. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. My eBay store, I did not add much yesterday. I think I added a few singles. Look out for a new video later today. I'm going to run over to the house again and make sure I take video where my hand's not in focus. So I'll put that up at some point tonight. What else is going on? It's 4th of July week. No breaks here. So let's see. I'll be on live. Oh, shit. I have something going on. Oh, I've got to cut it early tomorrow morning. Well, not early. I'll have to keep it to an hour tomorrow because I've got to go meet the shelf guys at 8:30 at the new house. Movers come Wednesday. I'm not sure what time, so it might. I'll have to ask so we don't get a ding-dong surprise. Card Hobbyist is late. What's happening? It's I don't know. Twitter's down. Card Dealer Pro was down. Saturday was just the internet was taking a break. So yeah. So Monday we'll keep it at an hour tomorrow. Tuesday, 4th of July, will be as normal, 7 a.m. Central. Bing Scott, you listed 8 new items. What did I list? I know I listed Jackson Holiday. Somebody returned. They bought 4 Jackson Holiday first Bowmans. And I think they paid $4 a piece. And I'm like, oh, I might be able to sell these for $6. So what else did I list? I listed that Corbin Carroll this morning. Let's see. I have 2 Wander Franco rookies. Okay, so they must be overpriced because they haven't sold. I listed a lime green prism optic Mike Trout, a rainbow foil Mike Trout, a Matt McLain Bowman Chrome refractor, a Bowman Chrome U mini purple diamond Andrell Anthony of the Michigan Wolverines, and Jackson Holiday. I think those were the items I listed yesterday. So yeah, the rest of the week. So Wednesday might be up in the air on time wise. I'll go live at 7, but might have to cut it off at 7:30. Thursday, Friday, and now we're getting into the final stretch of the house. And so I'm not sure what I'll be doing as far as, let's look at the calendar. So this week should be good with the exception of sticking to an hour tomorrow. Might only go a half an hour Wednesday. Thursday, Friday should be normal. Saturday, I don't think I have anything going on Saturday, Sunday. So should have normal shows next weekend. The following weekend, that's going to be Hobby Evolution could be on a delay days the week of July 10th. So that's when we're moving basically every day that week. Essentially, I'm keeping this probably. Oh, shit. So I leave Thursday afternoon. So let's see. So I'll probably move. I think we're having internet installed on Wednesday. So there might not be a show Thursday, the July 13th, because I'll be moving my stuff in probably the 12th and probably just getting things started. Because I think that might be the first night at the new house, that Wednesday night, the 12th. So if we have internet up, I'll be using that day to move stuff over. Because I'm trying I'm trying to keep it to a day or less where I'm down, where my work is down. And I should be able to achieve that. But then I'm out of town for 4 days. So basically I spend one night in the new house. And then the next day I'm leaving town and I won't be back until Sunday afternoon. So there won't be any shows likely Thursday the 13th through Sunday the 16th. And then I'll be back on Monday morning the 17th. We'll do a show on the 18th and 19th. And then it's it's not the National. So I'll be in that whole week. Madison Card Show Saturday, July 22nd. So no show there. We'll do the Madison Card Show review on Sunday the 23rd. And then there will be shows on the 24th and 25th and 26th. And then it's the National. So obviously no Hobby Evolution the 27th through the 30th. And then I can do a national review on Monday, July 31st. And then hopefully things are slowed down. So let's see. Would think Ohtani is hitting a current peak with his play. Tom Coleman, East Coast Tom in the house. I hope you didn't misplace those 76 Fleer football stickers in the move. No. In fact, hey, Tom, since you're here. Oh! There's got to be 1,000 in there. And then I found these for you. These are for East Coast Tom. Milwaukee Brewers, 1983 pocket schedule. American Family Insurance agent Don Gadzinski and John Knox out of Manitowoc. Oh, I like this one. NFC AFC football, 1983. Sponsored by Old Style. I love the back. I love the back even more. Excellent. I like this one. 81, sponsored by Blatz. And the back. Taste test Blatz yourself. This one's got a blank back. It's 1985. American Family Insurance agent Steve Sontag. So these must have come from Manitowoc, another Manitowoc insurance agent. Here's a 1990 Packers schedule sponsored by Unical. Unical. This is from the Plus agency in Manitowoc. 1978-79, Wisconsin Packers Marquette. Another old style, Milwaukee Brewers, 83. 83. Oh, we're not, Sal Dougie's not in the house anymore. 83. There's another one, True Value, 1982. That one's kind of, I think this one spent some time in a wallet. 1983 Brewers. That's sponsored by a TV station. Another old style, 84 Brewers. Ooh, Century Food Stores, 1986. Century had a fun logo. Let's see, another Century Foods. This is 87 Brewers. Yeah, Tom, I'm gonna throw these in the sticker box right now. Packers and Badgers from 84, American Family Insurance, and 1986. Don Gadzinski. So I will put these in the box for you. These are the ones that I've been telling you for like 6 months. I'm like, oh yeah. And I finally found them and I stuck them aside. So I'm going to throw those in that box. And I will bring those to the July 22nd Madison Card Show. So with that, I'm out. Hit the like button, subscribe. eBay store link in the description. Have a great Sunday. We're back at it tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central. See you then.